Hi there! Today is December 14. Volfix Net here with a review of the main trading tools. Let's start with the E-mini CNP analysis. Using the daily chart, we see that the level of 2093.5 was the maximum level of the year. The price has been testing it for long. This was practically during the first half of the year. Then was a sharp drop. Then the price came back to it again, and further we got the falling happened. We can say that this year, 2015, there was a certain fixing from which the price fell down. If we look globally on ETF of E-mini CNP SPY ticker, we see that there was a growth from the beginning of 2013, continued growth. And in 2015 there was a certain consolidation at the levels of 208 and 210 during the whole year. The price has fallen down several times from it and came back to it again. Basically, in global sense we see some fixing on these levels, while the further price reduction is very likely. The nearest aim for decline in prices for SPY is 201, 195.9 as well as 187.8. On the hourly chart of mini CNP we also see the downward motion. Respectively, the priority is in selling. Let's look for the possibilities for short positions opening from the level 2007, 2023.5, 2046. We should open from the level of 2007 only when the price would descend much lower and then go up again. As we see the huge accumulations right here at the end of the previous day, the Friday, from which the price has gone up a little bit, it's quite possibly that the price will reach the level of 2023 and will break down from it again. Euro-dollar pair. We see that for the last several months the price has come down, while we see the big accumulations of volume, so it hardly fell down. Here we got the weekly charts, and the week before last the price has sharply jumped after the pretty big volumes and now is consolidated somewhere in the middle. The nearest support levels we see for euro-dollar pair are 1.074 and 1.062. The goals to which the price is moving are 1.12 and 1.136. On the daily graph we clearly see that the maximum accumulation for this year is 1.12. That's why there's a high probability that the price will come to it. Also we see that after the strong breakdown there was a certain rollback with pretty high volumes from which the price is going up. Respectively, we suppose a further movement to the level of 1.12. In the short run, on the hourly chart, we see the support at the levels of 1.097, 1.0876, and again, the aim which we are moving to is 1.12. The Canadian dollar, we see the breakdown of the marketplace with sharp downward trend. Thus, the volume accumulation after which the price has sharply fallen down. We use the weekly chart here. Accordingly, we wait for the further falling down. In order the price has reversed and gone up again, we need some volume consolidation, either certain volume. At the moment we consider this movement as descending. The levels from which the movement should be are seen at the smaller time frames. On the daily chart of 6C we see the nearest resistance level of 0.734 and 0.737, but taking into account the strong downward movement, probably the price won't come to that level. Again, we are considering only the selling, while the sales from these levels are quite dangerous. In the short term on the hourly chart, the nearest resistance levels are 0.7306, 0.7322 and 0.7344. We are expecting the breakdown from these levels and further downward movement. The crude oil is also presented with the downward trend. On the global chart with the weekly time frame, we see that from the beginning of 2011, the price ranged at the levels of 88 and 106, and at the end of 2014 it fell down. In 2015, we see that there was a strong consolidation at the level of 45.4. The price broke this level and dropped, updating the lows. There are no buys at the moment, we don't see them yet. We search the sales from the levels of the smaller time frames. Oil is a pretty volatile instrument. Nonetheless, we won't consider this fixing at the bottom as the beginning of any buying, as the price is likely to come back to the level of 36.8 or 38.3. That less, the likelihood of reducing is still high. To sell from the current levels is also quite dangerous. It's risky to open any position here. We can wait for the rollback to these levels or look at the hourly chart. On the hourly chart we also see the sales. There are no buys at the moment. The nearest levels of resistance are 36.7 and 37.55. Thanks for watching. We are the Volfix Net company. If you want to get an absolute free trial version, visit our site volfix.net. Then go to Context menu, fill out this form, send it and download the platform. The trial version of our program will help you to practically understand all what we learned today and see how the volume analysis works. Good luck everybody! Cheers!